Hi everybody, this is Coffee with Lorelei number 2, answering the questions that were submitted to me about DNRS training and retraining for my Celebrations Recovered Speakers series talk. So this is Coffee with Lorelei number 2, and I'm recording it on an audio file, and I'm also recording it on video just in case I want to upload it to YouTube for other retrainers to listen to. So the first Coffee with Lorelei was about core beliefs and POPs. Those were all the questions that were with core beliefs and POPs. And this is kind of more questions about core beliefs and POPs, because apparently there's a lot of them. And I just wanted to say that I am truly honored with your questions and trusting me with, you know, your story and being vulnerable and sharing with me your journey. I'm truly honored, and I'm hoping that perhaps some of what I say is helpful. And I do want to say that I am not a DNRS coach, and I am not a registered clinical counselor, a psychologist, psychiatrist. These answers are purely from my experience and from my own journey. And they may not apply to you, my answers. And, you know, we're all so different. And so just take what resonates with you, take what feels right with you, and try it. And if it doesn't sound right, or, you know, just, I'm okay with you leaving it. And I also know that, you know, sometimes on this journey, there's a limited financial training zone. And so I'm absolutely happy to share my story, my answers, my experiences, because I know that not everybody can afford coaching, and not everybody can afford a clinical counselor. So I'm happy to share with you. However, just know that there are limitations with this, you know, this Q&A. I may not know the particular circumstance you're asking about. I might have taken your question out of context into a different context. You may take my answer into a different context that I never intended. So just realize that there's limitations to this kind of format. And I want to say that, you know, I was a physical therapist for 24 and a half years. And I do still hold, you know, my medical ethical vow still extremely seriously, that first of all, you do no harm. And so I want you to know that it's not a medical legal disclaimer that I'm saying. I'm just that I really do want to first do no harm, in that there are limitations to, you know, my perspective of the elephant. They might not apply to your situation. So, you know, just kind of suss it out and see if what I'm saying applies to your situation, and if it resonates with you. Okay, so thank you so much. So I'm going back to core beliefs and POPs, and this person has said that, you know, she's dealing with training on exercise, and she's has had numerous ebbs and flows, and she's afraid of failing again. And that's you know, that's a really good question. And first of all, I would like to say that lots of self-compassion. I keep on saying this again and again. Self-compassion is so important, because, you know, because this parts of this journey is tough, and but you can do it, and you need to kind of give yourself lots of love. And, you know, failing again, that's it's, you know, it's tricky, because nobody gets this right the first time. There's always ebb and flow, and there's always trial and error with life. But, you know, when the circumstances are like this, and you're getting it's that are distressing and uncomfortable, it's absolutely okay to give yourself a hug and say, you know what, this is hard, but you can do this. Okay? And I love the Man in the Arena quote by Theodore Roosevelt. I use it all the time about, so if you Google it, Man in the Arena quote by Theodore Roosevelt, and it was one of the quotes that Brene Brown used for one of her books. It's about, it's not the critic that counts, it's the man in the arena, the one who's actually in the arena doing the activity or the work, falling down, getting bruised and dirty, and you're going to fall down and get bruised and dirty if you're in the arena and if you're daring greatly and you're being brave. And you just give yourself lots of compassion. Look around at everybody else down there who's also in the mud and daring greatly, and give yourself a hug and a kiss. Get up, laugh if you can about it, and keep on going. Like it's a journey, and you have to let go of the fear of failing, because it's just part of the process. It's the trial and error and realizing, okay, that was a little bit outside my training zone today. Just outside my training zone. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that your limbic system popped, and it set you up on this subconscious record, of this physiological response. It's just and it's just because your limbic system popped. Okay, so it's just a matter of getting back up on that horse and keep on going. Okay, and the funny thing about the limbic system is it thinks we can go through life without making any mistakes, and that we can get everything right the first time, which is absolutely ridiculous, because nobody learns to ride a bicycle on the very first try that I know of. And the limbic system expects you to go, okay, you got to be perfect, because if you're not perfect, you're not enough. And so just keep that in mind, that view is partly limbic, but it's also human. But so just make sure that you realize, humans, we're all beautifully flawed, and it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And if you go through an ebb and that fear response gets triggered, give yourself lots of self-compassion and pick yourself up and keep on going, because you'll get it. And it shows you're strong and brave and courageous. And maybe you need to work on some more core beliefs. Maybe you need to work on to heal some past issues. Maybe you need to set the best intention you can to be your curious self and notice, what's going on. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? How am I responding? What are the underlying assumptions here? What are the underlying core beliefs here? So just it will happen. You just set your intention to be aware of them, and it'll be fine. Okay. Now, so the next question is how to catch pops. I seem to catch them after being in them for quite a while, and usually after they subside. The example is an adrenaline spike when having things that need to be done. I'm not able to interrupt the spike to decrease the adrenaline rush. I often don't feel the adrenaline until experiencing it for a long while, and by then the its are prominent. How did you overcome this? The POPs list is memorized, but it's like the brain turns off with the adrenaline spike, and I can't access the methods to interrupt the spike. Any suggestions? So another excellent question. Thank you so much for this question. So I set time limits for when I check in with myself. So, for example, I know some people do what's called, they download an hourly timer, and they check in with themselves every hour, and they do a mindful moment, or they do some gratitude, and just kind of take a little survey of how they're feeling, how they're thinking, what's their body telling them. And for example, when I'm doing an activity now, because I sometimes have a very full day. If I'm working on the computer and I'm writing a paper, and I set a timer for 45 minutes, and I say, okay, time to quit, time to have a stretch, time to check in with myself, and or I'm cooking or cleaning or doing something. It's just a good, I think, for myself, having that check-in periodically is very important, because it's important to notice if you're out of that calm dose chemistry. The other thing that makes me, I'm wondering I'm wondering if your self-worth is tied into what you're doing. So, for example, the Limbic lens, I call it the Limbic lens, that the limbic system likes to make you look through life with, likes to kind of evaluate you with what you're doing instead of who you are. And so it's like, okay, my house, my job, what can you do? And particularly, I think as women, we're particularly sort of my age group and older, there was that sort of upbringing of you're evaluated as a woman of how clean your house is, what your children, are your children presentable, are you cooking, are you making awesome meals for your family, and then on top of that, then of course the women's movement, and now we can hold a job outside the home and we can do the home job, and it's not really realistic to set all those expectations, those cultural expectations, I believe, on ourselves. And so I think part of it is also lack of self-appreciation for what I do, and I minimize it. And so I don't know if that needing to get something done is tied into a core belief about your self-worth. And when I was in bed a lot with my its, I sort of worked up to be up out of bed for an hour or two a day, and in that hour or two, I would spend half the time cleaning. It's like, and a girlfriend once said to me, "What are you doing? You only have an hour or two up a day. What are you doing cleaning? Go have fun." And because nobody cared if my baseboards were dirty. My teenage children didn't even notice. Neither did my husband. Nobody cared except me. So just kind of check in with yourself if the rushing is tied into a negative core belief, okay? And then do the check-in. That's my thoughts on that. And another retrainer once shared with me that she had sort of this core belief about certain things being done a certain way, and it was tied into self-worth again, about how this is the right way to do it, this is the only way to do it, and you better do it this way. And so she trained herself out of it by doing the opposite purposefully. So which was quite a good idea, and it worked perfectly. So I'll leave you with that. Okay, and the next question is, how did you create more awareness of POPs throughout your day? Presence in the moment. And I think I've answered this one before. Stay in the present moment. Keep on checking in with yourself. And, you can even go through all the list of 27 POPs and make 27 popposites, and then you can condense them down. I think I mentioned before that I like to recite mine. Okay, and this is the last core belief about POPs that I'm going to deal with in this coffee. Did you pop over your mom? And if you would heal in time to help her when she needed you as she got older, how did you cope? And this question is near and dear to my heart. And what a beautiful thing that you care so much about your mother, and that you and your relationship with your mother sounds absolutely fantastic. And I think, yes, I did have this pop. My mother's 82, and she's doing fine, and I'm so grateful that I can help her. And DNRS has given me such a gift, and she helped me when I couldn't take care of myself, and now I can help her. And yes, I did pop about this, but I think the limbic system likes to catastrophize everything. It likes to take a negative view on everything, and the imaginings of the limbic system. 90. I can't remember. There was a cartoon that was posted in the Google Giggle Tools, WhatsApp the Giggle Tools group a while back about like 95% of what your brain thinks never happens, and it just is there to make you fret and worry. So try not to go there, okay? Try to stay in the present moment and try not to let your limbic system's imagination run away with you. Stay in the present moment and just say, you know what? This is today, and I am dealing with today. I'm celebrating today, and whatever happens today, I can handle. And I am doing the best I can with my level of awareness right now. And of course, what I mentioned in my celebrations talk about pillar number 6 for me is faith and spirituality, and faith in the universe, and faith in whatever religion you choose to ascribe to. And I think I'm going to talk I had a number of questions about parenting children with ITS and family situations and relationships. That's going to be another coffee. And I'm going to go into this a little bit more when I talk about myself and my son. You have to figure out a way to let go of responsibility. And that was a big shift for me, because my son was very ill, actually, with ITS, and I had an over responsibility pop, and I didn't have enough. It was a difficult situation, and I'm validating to myself that it was a difficult situation for anyone. And this sounds like you need to give yourself some self-compassion. And I don't know your particular circumstances, but I think that if you need to find on your journey how to let go of responsibility for what happens with your mother. I'm going to leave you with that, because life is uncertain and spontaneous, and we can't control it. And I don't know how to say this. I don't know your spiritual faith, but it's if you have a spiritual faith, it might be good for you to kind of embrace how you want to handle this, because the soul wants to evolve, and I have faith in the universe that my mother, whatever happens, is going to be okay. And I think, and not to imagine all these things, and just take life one day at a time, and just trust that you will be able to handle it. Life can only be lived one day at a time, and life is going to happen the way it's supposed to happen, and life is going to find you, and life is going to find your mother the way it's supposed to find your mother, and her soul wants to evolve, and so does yours. And rain showers happen for everyone, and it's a process of self-evolution. And it's that you've given me a really tricky question, and I absolutely have compassion for you, and I think that's all I can say about that is that, just give yourself lots of compassion and see if you can let go of what for me was an over responsibility pop, and see if that fits in with you. Okay? So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to my second coffee with Lorelei. As I said before, I'm just doing the best I can with my level of awareness, and if what resonates with you is helpful, then great. And my counselor gave me this advice recently about trying new things and putting yourself out there and daring greatly. Not only the questions I've shared already about, what is the most loving choice that I can make for myself in this moment, and what does this choice fill myself with joy? But this next one is what is worth doing, even if I fail. And this is worth doing for me. I know that not everybody's gonna agree with me. I'm okay with that. I have my view of the elephant. I'm so excited to hear yours and see if we can come up with a bigger view of the elephant. And I'm not going to get this 100% right. I'm beautifully flawed. I'm going to fail. It's part of being life, part of being human. But this is absolutely worth me doing, even if I fall flat in my face. And people don't agree with me, and I cause a bit of a ruckus because I don't have all the answers, and I'm looking forward to learning. So let's just take a moment to be grateful before I go. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for all that we have in this moment. Who I am, what I can do, and who I can be. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this beautiful world that we live in. I get to celebrate now and celebrate life. And it's a brand new day and a brand new me. Now you take a deep breath. Thank you for spending this time with me. See you next time.